Right, guys, welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast. My name's Adam, and Baker's doing the whole thing. How are you, mate? You right?
Yeah, I'm here, mate. We're both here. I'm full of cold. You're full of
nothing.
Anger? Nothing.
Just delusion, I think is the word.
Melancholy.
I think I was comparing it earlier in my mind. I was like, how did I describe myself like 6 months into Jose Mourinho's Tottenham? And it was just like completely disillusioned with football. And you know, I mean, like, I was cleaning up the kitchen earlier after dinner and stuff, and then obviously saw that like United get a penalty, and then I'm like, oh cool, I can just stop washing up for a second. I just watch it, and then obviously Bruno hands it over to Rashford, and I'm like, well,
of course,
why? Like, why have you done that? Like, I brought you in for like this kind of moment. This is all I needed you to do.
Yeah,
this is all it was.
Not like it was 5-0 as well. Like 1-0. And well, we'll talk about that again when we get it. But for the majority of this game, Everton were comfortably the better team.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, you try and do the right thing, and sometimes, yeah, no, that just happens. I mean, I know people have had it with Saka earlier on in the season and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not any less frustrating when it happens to you. Like,
no.
Like you mentioned to me earlier, you were like, well, Son should have scored 4 goals. I'm like, yeah, well, that's true. That's also true, but that's in the past now. Like right now, Bruno's handing a penalty over to Rashford. Like, what? It doesn't make any sense.
The mad game we play always feels so personal. Like there's so many things. Like I don't, and I wish I was one of those people that didn't feel it was weirdly personal. But I feel personal whether it's like whether I've got it on an alert on my phone or not, or whether I look at my phone at that time and something happens when it doesn't benefit you and all those type of things. You always feel like, I did that. Somehow I've done that.
Oh yeah, it's a stupid stuff like I'm looking good. I'm on like 4 clean sheets or something like that, and then 3 goals goes in and you lose them all. Like, oh, I did that, but no, you didn't. But And so
Yeah.
I had what did I have yesterday? I was looking at So Rare and I had like I had my Genk keeper. They just literally popped up a notification that says Van der Vaart is on for a clean sheet, and it's just after 60 minutes. Van der Vaart's still on for his clean sheet. His score is this. Like, oh, cool. I'll go and check my score. I log into my thing, and then I get another notification from So Rare saying he's just lost his clean sheet. I'm like, you prick. Like,
Yeah.
it's exactly like that. You're right. It's so triggering. It's so triggering.
It's
You got
so
zero
triggering.
control. You could literally go to sleep at the deadline and then wake up 4 days later, and exactly the same stuff would happen. Like,
we think so, but we're not sure. So we still keep doing what we do.
I mean, I'm all for the butterfly effect, but I think from the northeast of Scotland, I don't think I can impact anything from up here. So
no, but the games are that way too. There's so many things that happened this weekend where ifs, buts, maybes that completely changed the narrative of what we're going to talk about tonight with certain things and during the games, and how people feel about players in FPL. That's kind of why we do this on a Sunday night, so we can just sit and chat through the games and say, do we take this forward, or did that was just one of those things that happens this week?
Yeah.
So that's what we'll do once again.
That's what we'll do. Okay, cool. So we'll go through our. Okay, let me just remind everyone what is coming up, because genuinely, you're lucky we're here. Like, I was very close, and Baker almost tipped me over the edge earlier, but we're here, and we are right here where this arrow points to the green to where we are. So this is Sunday the 26th or something, and this is what our December's going to look like. There's a lot of stuff going on here, a lot of team selections, a lot of reviews. There's a watch along there on the 6th. We're still trying to. Well, we actually need to ask the people that we want to come on if they want to come on. We need to actually secure that. So 10 days time, hopefully we'll get that. And obviously all the Premier League logos are all of the deadlines. So loads of stuff happening in December. And
this
we will
be quiet week, isn't it?
We will be here. We can, we've got one other between the 10th and the 14th. But apart from that, it's going to be chaos.
Carnage.
And then just a quick reminder as well, the golf day. So, we're still moving forward with this. Lots of responses. We've got another 3 or 4 responses on back of Thursday's pod, so thank you to that. The link is in the description below if you want to join us next year. April, May time is when we're looking to try and do it. We're having conversations with clubs at the moment to try and see if they can host us on the right day, etc., etc. So if you're interested, link in the description below. Go ahead and do that. And also just to thank those that support the podcast. So obviously we work with Sports Social, who help produce the podcast and publish the podcast, I should say. And Crypto Block Dan, although I've covered him with this bronze winner thing that we won. We seem to have won this award. How did I do that? Let me just move that out of the way. Sorry, Dan.
Move that out of the way. Poor old Dan.
Sorry, Dan. Dan for supporting us. Obviously, anybody who hits the like button, anybody who comments on a video, anybody who's subscribed, and a massive thanks to all of our patrons at patreon.com/AboveAverageFPL that join us in the Discord, where we're having lots of fun, lots of games and stuff like that. Bit of drama over last man standing.
Super chatted us from our Patreon. Says that he appreciates us coming out tonight. We love you, Kev.
Cheers, man. Cheers, Kev. Who narrowly missed out on the on Manager of the Month for our Discord league. Unfortunately for Kev, that was won by Crypto Block Dan. So Dan won our Manager of the Month. So shout out to him for that. Shout out to
taking
him
over. Dan has taken over.
Oh mate, yeah, exactly. And we did do a giveaway. But we should go through our scores first, because that's the important bit. And I was supposed to kind of hide this 87 points bit because that's kind of relevant here. But these are our weeks. This is our week. We are both all out. We've got nobody from Fulham, nobody from Wolves. So tomorrow doesn't matter for us. Ranks are obviously rank. Is might be the word. Not finalised.
Shouldn't be too big a hit tomorrow, should it? Those like Hwang's like 9% owned or something like that. So
I might drop from 4.3 to 4.4 million, something like that.
Yeah, nobody's going to get big time hurt, but some people might get lucky and go up. Those that own Leno.
Yeah.
And hey, like you look through this week, and we talked. You said about like if you hit Leno in, you think you'll gain 4 points. He might gain that in that first week this week, because hardly anyone's got anything from their keeper this week.
Yeah, exactly. So then, just for people that are listening, I'll just go through my team real quick. So Areola in goal. It's Share with 2 points. Anderson 1. Cash nothing. I may have rage transferred cash out midway through the Tottenham game. Deserved. I don't want to see him in my team ever again. He's snapped 2 Spurs players now. Foden, Eze, obviously off just after half time. Salah and then Bruno. I'm trying to work out what these A's are. I don't know what these A's are on here, but
assists.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, yeah, makes sense. Assists. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember what returns are. And then Watkins up front, Alvarez and Haaland cap. Nothing on the bench. Palmer, Simicast are there, but nothing from them. 41 points. Not very good. Just my average game week rank for the last 4 weeks is like 7.8 million or something. Average.
It's tough. I mean, I said a week curse, but it does feel like I'm scrambling and feel like I'm getting by, but injuries are just every week, just doing me in. So for me, obviously, Bowen is now sitting first on my bench. Archer came off it for him, and really, really wanted him for the Burnley game and didn't get him. Areola was well in goal, Sheff in there. I brought Saliba in this week, who did get 6 points, which is thank you very much for cash. So that's a pleasing one, albeit still an expensive defender. We'll talk about Porro, talk about Tottenham, but I feel like I cannot believe the lack of points I've got from Porro over the last few weeks. But 5 points from him today, 1 for Diaby. I mean, we called that. We talked about the week that he's had a few 60-minuters and it was coming. There was a sub 60 coming and it happened. Adingra also got a 1-pointer, so that's not good either. Son somehow gets 2 points. Salah 5, Watkins 5, and Archer, yes, off the bench with 2. So 46, not much better, but not done me any pain. So I will move on.
Fair enough. And as I say, our combined total is 87 points. We asked people on Thursday to chuck in the comments of our video on Thursday how many points that we would get. There were some various ones. I think the lowest was like 73, I think. I don't think anyone was that much lower. I think somebody said
we'd have got that. We wouldn't have sent it in the
yeah, I think
we wouldn't have been it.
Somebody said yeah, true. I think somebody said 98 points, and 80 of them would come from you. So thanks for the vote of confidence there. Yeah, that's exactly the word I'm looking for. But yeah, 87 points. I think somebody said like 150 something. There's some very optimistic people there.
I love them all.
Brilliant. But 87 points is what we got, and we had 2 people. So I'm not going to pronounce the top one, I don't think.
Well, but we've kind of got to have a go at it. What we got there?
Polatisev 9485, 87 combined points. And Ryan Tierney, I can pronounce that one. So Ryan, just dropped me a message, and I'm not sure what your whoever Polatisev is, drop me a message on X, Twitter, and we will just verify that you are who you are, so that random people don't message me saying it was me, and then we'll get a mug sent out to you. So we can do that.
Nice.
We can do that. Where do you want to start, mate? You want to drive this?
We'll start with Tottenham, mate. Straight in. It's the only way. It is the only way. From a Villa perspective, let's just get them done at there. So Watkins is still Watkins. I thought he was very unlucky to get a booking, because he's complaining that Davies had headed a ball, which Davies had headed, and gets booked for it, which is just the weird schoolroom, school class
is so
weird discipline that we end up with.
Yeah,
can't say that somebody else headed it to go off for a corner.
Yeah, not allowed to question the referee anymore.
No, can't question that sort of stuff. So then he gets booked. So that put him out the bonus basically for doing so. And plus the loss of the point. But Watkins is still fine. Like, he still leads that little line really well. Superb. Yeah. Cash is an issue, really, isn't he? I know we've got this Bournemouth game, but Bournemouth have been really good at home.
Everyone
was at home.
Yeah, well, everyone was very upbeat about the fact that he was playing right wing. And, he just I just found, I mean, like the Bentancur challenge is just typical of a player being in a position that they're not familiar with and making challenges in the wrong
Yeah,
area of the pitch. It sounds weird saying that because we know that Cash is a very advanced fullback, and so he
yeah.
should be used to being up there. But you know, he didn't have any real chances to create anything. He wasn't threatening from a goal perspective. Obviously, he makes that challenge and he's absolutely dead to me. But he, you know, Emery took the opportunity to take him off. Like he was forced his hand definitely at half
Yeah.
time, and it just allowed Villa to change their shape. I mean, Tottenham were all over them for the first 5-10 minutes,
We
and
did
then
this,
and
did
then
exactly the same as Chelsea, mate. Like should have blown them away, then score an offside goal that would have made it 2-0.
yeah.
And then
But they had
that
absolutely we had full control of the game. That we had full control of it that first
yeah,
half, right until the point where that goal goes in, and it goes back to, you know, you mentioned it in WhatsApp earlier, and you know you mentioned like naivety in terms of our heads going. We had the same thing with like late goals, like closing out halves and stuff like that. We just don't seem to be able to do that. And the weird thing is that we've said this for 10 years, and you've got like generations of players and also
yeah.
different managers like all through the time. It's not like it's the same ones that we're trying to that
It isn't the same ones, but it's also not Kane. Do you see what I mean? Like it's so quickly in our brain, it's so quickly potentially one of those days. Because if we started the first 20 minutes that we the way that we start at the moment for any any game when Kane was playing, would have banged 2 goals in those
yeah,
first 20 minutes.
exactly, yeah, true.
That this is what we're missing, is the I refuse to believe that anybody can tell me that there was a team that played better for half an hour than what we played for half an hour this weekend. Like that was just unreal football, just unbelievable football. But you always feel we're going to let teams back into it. It always feels, like if you're a good team, you're going to get enough chances, which we did. And we've got a lot of players out, but the huge thing was just Bentancur getting the injury,
Yeah,
because we just collapsed in ourselves. It is Højbjerg. There's a reason. I'm really pleased on Ange that he decided like no Dyer and no Højbjerg, because it's very easy when you've got injuries to go, I'm going to go the elder statesman and just bring them in. But he knows they don't fit what he needs, so played it, in the right way. But yeah, it's like Højbjerg came on and we all just went, oh God, let's just get through to half time. Let's just get through to half time. The players were doing it. Everyone did it. And it costs you in this league now. You can't do it. Man City found that out against Liverpool to an extent. You know what I mean? Is trying to control it, not really trying to do anything out of it. You can get stung. And Pau Torres stung us, and Trent stung Man City. Is teams are getting much, much, much better at the end of games because they know it's not. Half times used to be like, oh, it's going to go 45, they go 45 plus one, and we'll clear off.
no,
But it don't now.
no,
It
plus
don't.
7.
So you just got to keep going, and we don't keep going right to the end of a half.
Yeah,
That's a big problem for us. Take away from it, look, Son could easily have scored a lot of points today and did not. Kulusevski could have scored a load of points today and did not. Brennan Johnson could have scored a load of points today and did not. And Pedro Porro every single week should score 15 to 20 points and somehow doesn't. I mean, that's my most disappointing thing, because actually in the last 5-6 weeks, he's probably outscored most defenders.
yeah,
He's scoring between 5, 6, 7 points every week because he's getting an assist or a clean or something every week, bar the Chelsea game. But then, hey, that's because he's the only one that played 90 minutes with 9 men. But he looks an incredible. He's been so good for us, Porro. He just turns up in the most absurd positions.
yeah. Especially that
Continually in the
first
box.
that first half, that left 8. He kept showing up in the left 8 position, which was really weird because we were playing like a back. We were literally playing a back 2. Which was like the weirdest thing as well. Royal and Davies as a back 2, and like Porro just floating everywhere, and Udogie in left mid, left wing. Yeah, it was weird. I mean,
I would plan Son and Porro every week for the foreseeable. Like, I don't understand that people are talking about moving him or doing stuff like these. they will get goals. Like what Ange has shown you today, in the way that he's played, is that this team's going to keep playing.
Yeah.
That there ain't many teams that got to 2.5 XG this week, or anywhere near it. I don't know if anyone got near it.
Bournemouth definitely got over it.
Bournemouth, yeah, only Bournemouth. Only Bournemouth this week.
And there might have been one other. Maybe United got there just with the penalty. Non-penalty, nowhere near.
Everton probably aren't far off it as well.
Far off, no.
Played it well. But look, this team, if you didn't watch it and think this team's not functioning, like that would be weird. But this team is still functioning with all these players out.
It's still, yeah.
We need
them back.
Yeah. But it's horrible as a Spurs fan. When you're thinking about these players as FPL assets, they're still really good assets. It's horrible for us because I'm not sure when we're ever going to win games again.
Yeah, this is true.
But the assets, out of this,
it sucks. It sucks not owning them, and it's really difficult for me to find paths to them now.
Yeah,
really hard.
Expensive.
Like, I mean, because they're expensive. I mean, like Ray's transferring mid match is probably not the best way to get there, but I can get to Son. But like, why would I go to Son? You can't go to Son in front of City, which sounds like the sensible move. We know he scored against City many times in the past. We do know that. But I just think this team,
it's definitely not
right
a transfer
now,
in this week.
It's not a transfer.
If you haven't got him.
No.
But if people think they should be transferring him out, hey, you try get back there.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Because I imagine you're probably selling for what, 9.4?
Yeah,
9.3, 9.4,
like
maybe 9.5.
You try get back there.
Yeah, that's true.
Nah, not. I don't see that. This is still the most ridiculous player. The player that's playing actual centre forward, not that. I'm playing a wing forward type position. This is a straight up centre forward. This man's playing. It should have had a penalty early on.
Yeah, there's that as well.
But there's no VAR. VAR wasn't working.
How ridiculous does that sound as well? I mean, it's just fucking stupid.
The whole thing, just silliness. Like don't need to panic on something at all. And Man City aren't keeping any cleans.
Should we go there?
No cleans. So we might as well go there. So yeah, Diaby though, I know it's Bournemouth, but just sell it.
Just Bumo
for Bumo.
If you haven't got Bumo, just go to Bumo.
I'm probably just going to go and do it at some point on this podcast.
Yeah,
to the end.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, yeah. So obviously, Man City 1, Liverpool 1. Relatively even game, although at the same time, it kind of went how I expected. Like Liverpool this season, when they've come up against good teams, or they've come up against a sort of an adversity where the other team is able to control the game. I'm talking Newcastle and obviously Spurs. They're just so dangerous in moments that they're still in games. Like whatever happens, like even when they don't have control of the game. So, obviously Darwin has chances and Salah didn't have loads, but
none.
Like none. like no chances.
It's.
I feel a bit unlucky. I feel unlucky to get just the points that I did from Foden and from Alvarez.
From Foden for sure.
Like should have had one in the first half when Alisson passed it to him, and then another one later.
Good save.
Went past the post, and then a good save. Yeah,
good save. But he was lively. Like I think. Well, I think the news was that if Jack hadn't, had a stomach bug, that Foden would have played with him, wouldn't he? So you'd assume Doku go right on the right, and they would have played Grealish on the left.
This is the story, man. I'm not. I didn't really want to talk about the leak, but like we might as well.
Well, it's interesting for the future, but it's interesting. If it was a big game.
Grealish was ill overnight. I don't get this. Apparently, like Grealish was ill overnight. So
they don't make a team in the morning. The team would have been told on the Friday afternoon. They're the plan for a team to play Liverpool. They don't go, oh, you've been doing some good training here. We're going to pick it on Saturday morning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then if Grealish is ill overnight, then you wake up in the morning and go, oh, I'm ill, boss, or whatever. I can't play.
Oh, I'm not bothered about the league. Don't worry about the league. Because the league doesn't matter. So in case people don't know, there was a leak that came out at 10:59 that said that Alvarez was benched. What matters is the backstory, that potentially the reason why that was the case was that Alvarez was going to be on the bench and Grealish was going to start. Now, the fact that if that was what it was Friday night, then that suggests Alvarez wasn't going to start.
Yeah.
So we have some suspicion that Alvarez isn't as nailed as we think he is.
Yeah, no, agreed.
And so therefore you're like, well, what does that mean going forward, in terms of what to do about him?
We also know that Pep's very specific about planning for a team. Like, this would have been a very specific plan for Liverpool, right? And
and I think
I think you can get Grealish to pin Trent, and you can get Doku to basically cause chaos against Tsimikas, and I think that feels like a good plan.
Yeah, it feels like a good plan. It does feel like a good plan. That does feel like go at them out wide seems like a good idea. So, like you say, it doesn't mean that that's just he's now changed his formation. We know he's very specific, but it still opens the door to it, and he's still just not right. Like, you watch him and you're like, he's not right. Like he's not. He doesn't look happy. Do you know what I mean? Like you rarely see him smile. Like he just.
It's because he keeps missing the target as well.
Yeah,
it's very easy for people to piss when you keep missing the target.
It just don't feel quite right. But is anybody standing out well enough to say, I'm going to go here in the forward line?
Does it need it though? We've seen like that. We know that City's chances are all sucked up by Haaland primarily.
But what I'm saying is on Alvarez, like what?
Oh, you're saying there's no other real option?
Because Darwin is the easy option with the next two fixtures.
Okay, yeah.
Jesus is a good option. It's a bit more money, but when he only plays like 63, 64 minutes this week, I'm like, I wouldn't want to go there just yet. I'm not sure. There's fantastic options this week, to move him on. So I would, and we're leaky. He's still going to be up against potentially no centre backs. Like, we could be playing Davies and Royal again.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't got any other centre backs. Like Dyer obviously Phillips is injured. I mean, you're not going to bring Phillips in against City first thing as well.
So I don't think you can sell any of City players before they play Tottenham because we're too open.
Yeah.
But Foden looked good, I thought. That's the difference. Alvarez is slightly easier to keep because
the options
there's not great options. But Foden feels easier to sell because Bumo, Saka, there's somebody you haven't got for having Foden. But I thought Foden was fantastic.
It's funny because I feel like I've had things cleared up for me, because I was going to carry Eze through those 2 weeks, and move Foden on, but I don't have to, because the decision's just been made there for me. So
we should work it out. But yeah, I think if you can keep your City assets this week, keep them.
Yeah, and no change on Liverpool. Obviously, they now go Fulham, Sheffield United, Palace. Like, 3 good fixtures coming up for them. Even potentially United in 17 as well. Good fixture at home.
I messaged you this morning. I said I feel really, really hard done by on the bonus situation. Obviously, we've got Doku. We're going to need to mention it. We're going to need to mention Doku's baseline and the fact that Doku gets free bonus points for this game. And I'm monitoring it, like I'm watching it. And Ake looked clear at top, with Haaland currently in second just before the goal went in, and I think Ederson was pretty close, right up behind him. And then obviously there's the chance down one end of the pitch, and then they go down the other end and score.
Yeah.
And the big change, so Haaland finished on 26 points and Doku finished on 28 points. But the big swing at the end is that they gave the Haaland chance as a big chance.
Well, Doku finished on 30, but yeah, Ake finished on 30. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, finished on 30, but it'd be on 27 if you take off the big chance created.
Yeah.
And Haaland would be on 29 if you add on
the big chance.
The big chance.
Well,
and I feel like
if he'd scored,
really
it'd been another 24 as well.
Yeah, but it was a block shot from literally 1 yard.
But it wasn't blocked by the defender, though, was it? It was saved by the keeper.
Nah, and this is the point. Like I'm sure a lot of people saw it because they literally showed it once, and then went down the other end. It goes straight in. I think it might have even been going wide. He's helped it on its way. It's gone straight into Van Dijk, and Van Dijk diverts it into Alisson's hands. I'd have to look at it
again, but yeah, okay.
But he actually blocks it within like a yard of it leaving his foot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that in itself, the fact that it's a block shot like 1 yard in front of him doesn't feel a big chance. But it got credited it, and therefore that, moved Haaland down 2 points, and it moved Doku up 2.
Yeah.
Who did it, and people are going to ask how he did it. So we're showing you here. The main way he did it is he had 12 successful dribbles. So the main way he did it is because he was up against Trent Alexander-Arnold.
And he just fucking ran at him.
He just kept running at him. Just unbelievable.
He's just ridiculously exciting to watch. I mean, it's weird because I feel now having sold him, I'm kind of gutted that I sold him, and it's not because of the 22 points. Honestly, it's because genuinely having players in FPL that are fun to watch, they're good to watch. You feel like they're going to do shit every time they get the ball. Like that's fun. And if they don't, you're like, that's annoying, and you feel like you should have got more.
You want the player that lights up the game.
Yeah.
And he did.
I always feel like I should have got more from my player, not rather than my player was just crap. Like I'd rather feel like I should have got more rather than my player was crap.
You'd like the pain of feeling hard done by. It's like me on Porro, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm like,
almost.
After a while you start to think I'm always going to get hard done by on Porro because he plays for Tottenham.
Yeah, this is true.
But we had 2 guys in midfield that did very little this weekend in Doku and Saka, who ended up with Doku with 3 bonus and Saka with 2 bonus. What we are seeing from City and Arsenal is this level of control. They're not wasteful. They don't do any stupid stuff. Like there's no shots off target here that lose any bonus.
Which he was getting, which he did have in previous. Like if you go back to like the Brighton game, he was wasteful in that game, and that's where he was getting a lot of negative stuff. And that's the sort of stuff that's impacted his baseline.
And I think we've used that then against to say that he's not good for Haaland.
Yeah.
And I think there was an element of it, but there was less of it in this game. There was less of it. He was getting to the line and then trying to cut it back. And Haaland's just got to learn that it's going to be cutbacks and not
crosses.
The headers.
Yeah.
There is still places where it doesn't look great. Like you see him there and you're like, Haaland's menacing at the back post and he hasn't got that clip because he wants to come back in and go onto his right. So he can't clip it with his left up high. But that's why Bernardo's been also doing so well, is because Bernardo then comes across and offers that.
Yeah.
I'll offer that one. But it's not the same. It's not the same, for Haaland to attack it. But they're definitely learning. He's definitely learning more into this system. He's showing the level of control, which is not wasteful.
Just feels like City are building up a head of steam and they're just getting ready for their annual charge come like the 1st of February. Just to go.
But they're not blowing them away, and that was the big thing. They didn't blow it away, and therefore they got back in it.
Yeah, good goal by Trent as well. Really good finish. Really good
so
finish.
Early. Same as Watkins. Same, very, very similar Watkins. Like this one looks better than
that's
Watkins
because it looks better because Watkins was shooting left and Trent was shooting right, and it's because of the pure camera angle that you get from that because you're behind it.
But shooting early is such a big talent. It gets the keeper every time.
Yeah.
So we had him. Might as well do the other one. Might as well do Saka and Arsenal, shall we?
Let's go over there. Let's go over to Brentford versus Arsenal. Another tight game. Very much a. I don't know. I thought Arsenal were fine. They should have conceded. Obviously, I mean they should obviously be conceding.
Yeah.
To Bumo, and then I think it's the second half Zinchenko off the line as well. I mean, they should be conceding there. Like I feel like Ramsdale's never going to see the football pitch again.
Nah.
Like,
no.
Thanks for covering this game, Aaron. But
we do know that Brentford like to deal in big chances, so it's not unusual that they fashion 2 big chances, even if it is by pressuring the opponent into making mistakes. Like they find ways. But bar that, Arsenal just ground them out of the game. It's interesting that they still ground them out of the game, despite, I think, every Arsenal fan in the world, when they saw that lineup, was like Brazil Samba time. Like when you suddenly saw it was Odegaard and Trossard in the 8s and Martinelli and Saka wide and Jesus up top, it's like, this is what we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
We've got Rice and the solid back 4 behind it. Everyone's playing. Like, just phenomenal. The good part to note, if they continue to do that, is they then need more legs in midfield. So it really does mean that they have to play Zinchenko as much as possible. Like I think you just get him if you can get him. As long as you've got a 4th defender. If you've only got 3 defenders, I don't like it. But if you have, like, no one's going to get near him in the bonus. We know he gets the most bonus when he plays. The problem is that he's the least reliable to play.
Yeah.
But if they're going to be, where he could be really fortunate is if they're going to play that kind of attacking lineup like they played, that they need somebody to sit alongside Rice. So it just makes much, much more sense to play Zinchenko because he inverts better than the rest of them. And when he's there, I mean, he was on like 15 baseline at half time. Just miles away.
Yeah.
And then, for me as a Saliba owner, Saliba was basically on 2 points for the majority of it until our boy Pinnock took him. As we talked about in the bonus pod, Pinnock was flying again, doing his usual stuff, about 15, 16 on the baseline. He looked like he got the 2nd spot. Then when the goal went in, I thought, I'll be all right now. Saliba's going to get the as the little bit of pain relief that Arsenal have scored a late winner is, at least I'll get 8 points. And then in walks Saka. And I'm like, Saka's done nothing. I don't even understand it. Saka didn't have a single shot the entire game. Nothing. But I retweeted the tweet last week, and I thought it was a fantastic tweet about a guy guy took a load of heat off it. But it does make sense. He was like, I don't know what it is, but when you watch Saka, you know that he's never played a game with his mates in his life.
Yeah.
And there is, like, he's the most trained professional player you'll ever see. He does nothing wrong. Like, he never showboats. Like, you never see step overs. You never see weird flicks. You never see him, I'll just chance this. Like, maybe I'll just swing. Like, he's so efficient as a player. It's phenomenal. Like it should be appreciated how efficient he is, because I think, and why I say I feel like it should be appreciated is because I think it's really, really easy to just think, no, he was crap today. Because if he hadn't got that assist, people would have walked away with, he hasn't had a single we'd hear that stuff, because we heard that stat the other week.
No, one shot since game week 7.
And we had the same thing again. Why would you spend it on Saka when he's had no shots? And believe me, I'm talking as neither of us have Saka in our teams. And I hate not having Saka because he's 50% owned against me. But he does nothing wrong. So although he had no shots, he still gets 2 bonus off an assist, which is really, really hard to do. Especially when a team keeps it clean. But it's because he made 2 big chances. Quite lucky on the first big chance, because that's the Jesus to Trossard goal. But obviously the Jesus does the header first.
Yeah, so that
So he
counts as
gets,
the chance.
yeah, that counts as the big chance. So that's not offside. So
Yeah.
that one you still get. And then he gets this. I messaged you this morning. I feel like it's cheating, this yellow shirt. When you watched it, like, and also just recognize this is that he crossed that on his left foot.
Yeah, it was so clear as to where it was supposed to
Yeah,
go.
all three of them were at the back,
Yeah.
and it's that big, bright yellow shirt. And it was so easy to just look up, go, I'm just going to hit it at that group of players. But that's because this is, when you watch Arsenal, this is the most well-trained team in the league. Even more so, I think, than Man City is. They're so organised. Like the fact that all three of them clumped together, no one come near post, no one come anything. They do everything. Minute details. Fair play. That's them.
Cool.
Coffee.
Shall we?
Sorry.
That's fine, man. That's fine. Shall we go to
Bumo, just on it. Do you have to get him in for Luton?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Luton haven't been giving up a load. They haven't been giving up loads and loads recently, but still, it's still Luton. So yeah. Bumo shows enough every game now to warrant just being in there, and they may get a penalty next week.
They may get a penalty, but he showed enough outside of it. He was dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of his chance comes from that mistake from Ramsdale, obviously. But
let's do Luton.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
if Eze's out, just move him to Elise.
I mean, you can't put ideas like that in my head because I haven't got Bumo.
He's such a baller, though, isn't he? Elise.
Yes.
He's nice. He's a nice footballer to watch.
He's just a great footballer. I mean, a perfect combination of speed, balance, and then like the finish was just insane. Like genuinely insane. And I obviously had Eze. So speaking to Corf about this back end of the last game, at game week 12 before the international break, and I was just saying that I think Elise might hinder Eze, and I genuinely did think that it was more likely that Eze was going to be passing the ball into Elise. Elise will create the chance, and then I think Elise makes Edouard a better asset as well, for sure. But I felt that because Eze had minutes under his belt before the international break, that he would probably fare better coming back from injury, having a few more minutes under his belt before that 2 weeks additional recovery and rest, and getting the tactical bits and all this sort of stuff. So he'd be fine. Obviously, all that shit goes out the window when whoever it was falls on him, and just
so weak, man, wasn't it?
It's just such a crap injury to get, and we don't know anything about it. We actually don't know how bad it is because
we'll find out.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
But I feel like if you're going to move off Eze and go to Bumo, I think you need to move soon because Bumo will go up to 7 million tomorrow, probably.
I think he's going up tonight.
Or tonight, then there you go. So
I think he's going up tonight.
Although I have just freed up 0.4 million in cash, literally. So I'm probably
literally in cash.
But even so, like this first half for Palace was poor. Like Palace were poor generally. First half, a few pot shots here and there and stuff like that. It wasn't really much going on. So bar the last couple of chances when they're trying to get back into the game, game state 2-1 down, last 5 minutes. Yeah. There's still not a lot here to be happy about picking a Palace player.
No, and what did look worse was Decore. So Chet Decore went down, and he's just big. We saw before earlier in the season Decore and Lerma. With whenever they miss one of those two, they're just not as good, especially defensively. That just really hurts them. So that's a problem for their defense. If Decore looks like he's out for a while, that's an issue. If Eze and Decore are out for a while, that's suddenly a Palace issue. But They've got still a couple of good games. So
yeah, I mean
you
the
play
fixtures are still fine. So they've got West Ham and then Bournemouth at home, and then it gets a bit dicey after that. Liverpool City,
Yeah.
Brighton, Chelsea. So yeah,
it just is. They're suddenly not a bring-in team.
no, I don't think so. But I think, you know, when fixtures do get better for them, I mean, it's a long way away. That's the only problem. I think the block of like game week like 10 to 15, you know, that kind of block that we saw means hopefully we'll get that block later on, and that will have Burnley at home, it'll have Luton at home, it'll have Bournemouth away in there, it'll have West Ham at home, have Everton away, in and around, you know, so you know there will be another opportunity.
Yep.
Maybe they get their players back for that. But, you know, defensively then, so would you be looking to move off like Anderson, Gahey? I mean, I think Mitchell's probably an easy hold given the price he is. You can just hold on to him.
I think the good thing about Anderson is he's got some really good fixtures. And by the time his fixtures start to dry up, Porro's fixtures get better. And I think a lot of people will do Anderson to Porro in a few weeks' time.
We could do Anderson to James as well, because he'll be back by then.
He will be back by then. It'll be more expensive.
Yes, it will be.
It'll be more expensive.
But hopefully he doesn't rise too much this week, given that he's not playing next week.
Play one game and he rose. It's unbelievable. We can't help ourselves. We better go there next. But look, I think Luton I think there's lots and lots of signs that Luton are a decent team.
You annoyingly called the Carlton Morris thing, didn't you? And he got that stupid fucking little assist flick that he just gets his head on stuff, doesn't
he? Yeah, he's just up there. Like I like him a lot more than I like Wood or Archer. Like I think he's a big difference on that. 5.2.
I'm not trying to compare I'm not trying to compare myself to Carlton Morris, but he's kind of like what I used to do is I used to just get my head on everything and just like, you know, the ball just sort of sucked into
people
and just annoy people. Yeah, exactly. That sort of crap that I used to do.
Him, lay the stuff off. But
I wouldn't pick me in FPL. So
if Elise is back, Edouard's also at that price, at that 5.5 price. Edouard's probably the better of the lot. And if Eze is out for a while, I suspect Edouard takes the pens. Yeah, probably over Elise.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
So Edouard's still okay. But I think defensively, the time's gone. The time's gone on those. Is I think people will start to move off them before more people move on to them.
We will wait until next time for these guys.
Should we do Reece James?
Yeah, go on then. Let's go over to Newcastle versus Chelsea. I mean, obviously Newcastle completely blow them away in the second half, especially. I think we've got to talk, or not talk about it. Just mention that little assist from Lewis Miley at the start. Like,
so good.
Like it's one of those where you literally like Moses part the Red Sea type thing. Like you make this pass and then suddenly he's got so much space.
He's the guy that a few weeks ago he came off, wasn't it? And I was like, I don't even know. There was some guy that came off. I didn't know who he was.
Exactly, same kid.
That's that guy. Same kid.
He's
kid. Now we know why he's playing, because that pass was just wow.
Yeah, it's a really simple pass. It's not a difficult pass. It's not a difficult pass to make. It's a really difficult pass to see though. Like
and just having the balls to do it.
Yeah.
Just be like, yep, I'm going to play forward. I'm playing through this.
Exactly.
I've had this inkling for a little while, and in watching Newcastle, and it played out again, is that Sheff's not the one on set pieces anymore. That's a problem, because they all go at themselves.
Unless they're looking for Joe Linton.
Unless they're looking for Joe Linton. You know, Joe Linton obviously should. I can't work out how that's not bigger. It doesn't make any sense. I think it might have been because he's outside of the whites of the goalposts. That can only be. I think I've read something before about how much that affects it. It is quite a lot. So that's about 0.2, 0.3, something like that. I'm just checking that chart. It feels like it should be 0.8.
Joe Linton, 0.238.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like anywhere near what it should be.
Yeah.
But Lascelles is the target. He's the target. Everything's going at him. So, like, if Botman's broken, and it does turn out he's broken for longer, we don't know. We'll see. But Lascelles is just a good pick.
Is he still? Was he now 4-4-1? Must be
4-1 still, I think.
4-1. Yep.
And Anthony Gordon. I mean, you called it on Thursday Night Pod, mate.
I was
like when I was moaning about Eze.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that was mainly. To be fair, though, I'll be honest. That was basically based on team information rather than him personally. And he had 0.13 xg, and 0.1 xg is that chance there which he scores, which is when they're down to 10 men. So I'm not gonna wax lyrical about how great a call it was, because
no, but they're a good team that are capable of scoring 4 goals at home in any game.
Yeah, he's the best priced asset at one of those teams that are expected to do well. Basically,
it's fun.
Basically,
it makes me laugh every week. Zoff, I know you'll be listening to this, Zoff, but it makes me laugh every week that Zoff's got him, because he's had him for weeks now, and obviously he's doing really well off of all the points that he gets from him. But he always feels to me like the least Zoff pick of the Wire boys. It doesn't feel like Zoff should have him, but he's smashing it.
He's cheap and enabling and stuff like that, and he's probably just sitting on him now until Palmer, right? Has he got Palmer?
Yeah. Every week he's like, oh, Gordon's all right for a few more weeks. He's monitoring Harvey Barnes injuries, and every week he just turns up with another 10 points, and you're like,
oh, the last 3 games, isn't it? He scored in something. He scored in his last 3.
When he scored, I was like, Gordon goes off, and then I realised it was actually against Chelsea, so he was.
Yeah.
But I know, because it was the 4th goal, he was still celebrating.
Yeah.
Reece James, just painful in it, and Sterling. I mean, what a banger that free kick from Sterling.
I genuinely didn't even know that he took free kicks. Like, apparently, so who was it that messaged me? Was it Lucy that messaged me? It's saying that he's taken 7 free kicks in his entire Premier League career and scored 2 goals or something. But
he's taken that free kick loads in training, mate. That wasn't just the technique for how he did it. It's
one of those where you get and you get so close. Everything's very close. You're so close to the ball.
Yeah,
like everything's so compact. You can just get
straight on the valve,
top
get
spin
it up,
over.
Get it down.
Yeah, Pope didn't move.
It was just in. So good.
I did enjoy how. So Joe Linton's goal made me laugh, because it was like that mate that you play with as a kid who wasn't very good, and he kind of just managed to find himself one-on-one at some point in the game, and he just kind of just almost closed his eyes and hit it as hard as he could, and instead of it going up in the air, it kind of rolls along the floor and past the keeper, because he didn't actually. It basically took the biggest backswing for that goal I've ever seen. I think given the header in the first half, I mean, he needed to score, didn't he?
Yeah, he needed to score. It's hard to believe that they paid 40 million for him as a striker, but it's very easy to believe they paid 40 million for him as a midfielder.
Yeah. I think he's done enough for that.
Oh, he's done more than enough.
Yeah.
But they bought him as a centre forward, which he is not.
No.
What we got left?
I don't know. We've got loads left, mate, I think.
Let's do Man United Everton.
Sounds good.
We've virtually done the bit you need to do.
Yeah.
You told me that I should have put Garnacho on the thumbnail this week.
Yeah, I also told my brother-in-law that he was an idiot for captaining Garnacho in his wild card team. I think the words were, take Garnacho out for your sanity. Literally told him that on Friday. I would give him that advice every single day. I still would give him that advice. What a goal, man. What a goal.
What a goal.
There's only like 5 bicycle kicks that like really stick in my memory. And now that's one of them. So that's got to be up there. It's got to be up there. So how do you rate these bicycle kicks? And I'm gonna give. There's gonna be one absolute classic. So obviously you've got this one, Garnacho's.
Yes.
I'm obviously giving you Gareth Bale, Real Madrid,
yes,
in the Champions League final. I'm giving you Ronaldo, the Champions League quarter final for Juventus, 1. I'm giving you Wayne Rooney against City.
Yep.
And I'm sure you will remember this, but I'm giving you an FA Cup 3rd round game, QPR in like the
Trevor
mid
Sinclair.
90s for Trevor Sinclair.
For me, I mean, I am old. Like everyone else says, I'm old. I'm the man well into his 40s. So I was at school when Trevor Sinclair scored that.
So was I.
My back hurt for a long time because it's all we did. The beauty of the Trevor Sinclair one is that it was just outside the area. So it wasn't that everyone started doing it when they were like 6 yards out and crosses were coming in for corners. It was that you would chip it up to yourself 20 yards out and just try it. Just kept trying it and trying it and trying it. And we all scored a few, but you would score it by shinning it like miles up in the air and lobbing the keeper virtually of doing it. But
if you've never seen that bicycle kick, please go watch it. It's on YouTube. Definitely.
Everyone did. So the Sinclair one for me is just like it's special just because nobody did it at that time. They're all phenomenal, but technically it's hard to beat. I do get annoyed when people say that Rooney shinned it.
Oh, I think that's disrespectful.
It really annoys me when people say that because it's so good, but they're all magnificent.
There's an Emre Can shout in there. There's an
Peter Crouch, obviously.
Peter Crouch. There's an Ibrahimovic one in there. We all remember that one against England.
Yeah.
That was better. That was completely outrageous.
Just so good.
Yeah.
Just so good. Just as good as it can be.
So outside of that,
Everton were phenomenal.
Well,
they bashed them up.
They are unlucky. They are so unlucky. I mean, I said it a few weeks ago. Onana. I mean, I know this is very specific to this game, but Onana, he makes saves, great, but why does he keep making saves and putting the ball back into dangerous positions? Like, what is it about him?
What I like about what Onana has done is he's become functional, because he was a guy trying to do. He was like a superstar keeper that came in, was trying to do 100 passes a game and doing this stuff. He now boots it long every time. Just hoofs it. Him and Pickford just hoofed it all game. Mark Statspot. Mark R Stats, if you go to his thing, he done a thing of the distribution from those two today. It was brilliant, just old school hoofing from the pair of them. And he just gets in the way.
I know he gets in the way, but I still feel like he's got to do more.
It looks horrible, but he just gets in the way. But their whole premise is to get in the way. Lindelof gets in the way. Maguire get in the way, Onana get in the way. It's all ugly as hell. You come away from it thinking they were horrific to watch, really. But what they're trying to do is work incredibly hard and then deliver moments of quality. And Garnacho obviously deliver a moment of quality, then they get a penalty. And then, brilliant ball from Bruno and an unbelievable finish from Martial. This is actually more like the identity of what Ten Hag said he would do, which is lead into really counter-attacking football. But if you take away the moments, they got battered.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to concede basically 3 XG to Everton, it's not going to last. Like these games are not going to end 3-0 most of the time.
But they've spent like 600 million to have really good quality players. So that's the difference you saw. This is one team's playing and working really hard, but the quality of finish is very, very low. These ones, when they got the opportunities, they did the really good stuff. What I like is he's playing Garnacho, which is we've been shouting for ages, and then he plays Kobe today, who was really good. For young lads and stuff. I'm sure we're all going to get carried away with like how good he is, but that's also because they've not had somebody function in that position. You always look better. But he looks at talent. Like you just got to play him. Play the guys that are doing the right stuff. That's why he's playing Lindelof and Maguire, and that's what he said to Onana is, I don't want you to be the laughing stock. Like just do the tough stuff. What it means is they grind it out. The good thing, because they're quite clumsy, a lot of them, is Dalot can just reap the bonus.
Yeah.
Because he's a bit classier than the rest of them. And he's the only person getting forward, and obviously gets his assist for the ridiculous thing, which makes him decent. But maybe the good fixtures are gone now.
Yeah, that is an outrageous
penalty. We just assume Bruno's on penalties, don't we? And he was just wanting to get Rashford back in the game.
I don't know, probably. I think so. Yeah, I think it was a gift to perk him up. I don't know. It's just frustrating, obviously. Like, would you move Bruno on now?
I feel very similar watching Bruno as I've felt watching Basuma for us, is that when you see a player get to the fourth yellow, it's actually worse. You kind of almost want them to get the fifth yellow, because I feel like they just play. He's so important to that team, Bruno, that he's definitely sacrificing pieces of himself to do it. But you still watch the last 5-6 minutes and you think he's going to score it, because he made so many good runs. Like a good ball into him in that like 89th minute or so, when I think it was Palestri was down the right, but somebody was down the right and they were in, and they just needed to get it across, and they didn't beat the defender. But he was there. He was there, right centre forward in the 89th minute, would have tucked in a goal and walked away with all the bonus and a big haul again. And he can do that in any game, and he's going to play the next 3 games in a week, and he's going to play all of them in 90 minutes unless he gets the booking.
It's guaranteed to get. He's guaranteed to get booked in St James's Park, because they will torment him up there. Like Joe Linton will just fucking torment him.
If you've got no other transfers to do, fine. But would I hit him out? Nah, I'm not so sure. Okay. I'd probably wait for it to happen and then move him to Saka if you haven't got Saka with you. So I'd just
no. So then that's So Wolves at home, like, is it worth a hit for Wolves at home? Don't know. I don't know.
You, mate.
There's not many others. I mean, like the only real team to target is Sheffield United, because they're horrific, and we'll go there next. Why not? But like they're playing Burnley next week, so that doesn't help anyone.
No, it doesn't. But maybe we need to So I was really tempted to play Archer this week, and I ended up playing him because Bowen didn't play. But I don't even think we can trust him on that. Like, if we can't trust him home to Bournemouth, we can't trust him.
Yeah. Well, it's just the whole team. Like, they just weren't in the game at all. Like, Bournemouth just completely battered them from start to finish. Like, under every metric possible, they were beaten.
Yeah.
Tavernier's been like low key, a little fly under the radar player. I think that one that I feel like he's one of those players in that team that could become an asset. The problem is his Bournemouth just aren't generally very good. That's the thing. He feels like a decent enough pick. He's got good enough quality in the box when he gets there. He's had plenty of goals and assists in his past. It's not like he just doesn't have it in his locker. He's definitely there. And he could have scored a hat trick.
It's another one of those where he's a midfielder, and he's competing against the Palmers, the Gordons of this world. It's difficult. It's difficult to find the room for him. But yeah, when he's on it, he tends to be on it for a little while. Last season, when he got on a good run, he just kept going. When the goal goes in and you see it's going to be him, you kind of almost assume it's going to be a banger, like it's going to be a proper good goal.
Yeah.
And these weren't. These were just good finishes.
Yeah.
Interesting. Obviously, they put up a lot of XG without a return for Solanke, but he still had chances.
Maybe smile that a little bit.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
Not gonna lie.
We enjoyed it.
But he didn't get. Did he get loads? I mean, let me just have a quick double check.
He was the point
myself.
is that 0.6. He's still the number 9. He's still right up there.
Yeah,
he's still right up there. But Tavernier, he can, if the run's good, he can do well.
Is the run ever good enough though? Like 17, 18, 19 is your best bet.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's for someone who's wildcarding in 19 to go, I've got 3 games for a bit of fun here. And here's a player that plays in 18 and and does the business. But I feel like that could be punted. If you're still on wildcard, if you've still got wildcard left, I think that could be fun. 17, 18, 19, Marcus Tavernier. Yeah, I don't mind it.
They're now up to 13th in the non-pen XG table for the season, with Man United, West Ham, and Arsenal just above them. They're almost in that league.
Yes, but they just put 2.8 up against this lot. Like,
but everyone's done that. Everyone's got it in there. Newcastle going to dine out on their 26 XG, but that includes, everyone's at that
4.5 against Sheffield United.
yeah. It's not like nobody else hasn't had the spike when they play Sheffield United.
This is true.
They now have had it, and they're getting better. That is what we're seeing with them. Is they're pulling up decent numbers.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks, like they've put up 6 XG the last 2 weeks.
They have it last week as well.
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening at Bournemouth. Maybe Ario.
The 2.5 against Newcastle. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, we knew that this is a team. This is a manager that's Ariola's done very, very well. So maybe he's just getting it. Maybe it's just starting to work.
Maybe it's starting to click a little bit.
Maybe Tavernier's the man.
Maybe they did put one XG at home to Bournemouth.
What price we got on Tavernier?
What price?
God,
no one knows. Nobody knows Tavernier's price off by heart. There's absolutely nobody that knows that. It's not possible.
5.4.
How did you get there?
Midfielders.
Did you?
Filtered to midfields, went down.
I just went to stats, sorted by round points, because he is top.
There you go.
Obviously, with 16 points. 5.4. Okay.
There you go.
How does he fare across? How does he fare around midfielders then, generally speaking? Like, it's okay.
He's okay, but it's now. How does he now? Now he's the best player in the game.
Oh, of course, yeah. This is true.
He's the best player in the game.
It's true.
Go
on.
In the sub 6 million bracket, then, because I think there's quite a few of us in that. And I said last week, just get Palmer and so forth. But there are a few dalliances that I am looking at. But Gordon's obviously solid. I am still Brennan curious because I'm a very biased man. I'm still curious.
The fixtures aren't there yet.
Not yet, but they will be. But I'm definitely shopping in this market pretty soon.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at Gordon. I mean, fixtures turn a little bit for Doug Luiz.
I've got to get a dinger out of here.
You got to get a dinger out. I mean, like Neto's coming back soon. Neto's coming back soon, and game week 15 to 20 is really good for Wolves.
Yeah, okay then.
So I think you maybe just want to hold fire on that. That run of Burnley home, Forest home, West Ham away. Then they go to Stamford Bridge in 18, which is fine because you just need players in 18. And then Brentford away, and then Everton at home. I think that sort of run of 5-6 fixtures is pretty good. That said, that coincides completely with Chelsea's good run of fixtures as well. So Palmer's obviously there. He's just sitting there. He's just sitting there ready for you.
So we've got left Burnley, West Ham, and Forest, Brighton.
Dun, 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 dun. Yes.
You choose, sir.
It's the one at the top. That's all. It was higher up. It's
the old reminder of not to scale this one, that this is not the same as the others. And if you take away a penalty and you take away a very late Souček chance, this was miserable.
So I'm just trying to find a game with much more XG and a penalty. I guess there wasn't one, was there?
Tottenham Villa. Plenty.
Yeah, but there was no pen.
No
pen. But
we know. We just tell the scale. It didn't get 1.27 XG against 1.03 XG. I mean, if you've got Kudus, then you've done well out of this, really. to get a 10-pointer out of this game in the end, because you'd have expected West Ham to have put up more than 1.03 XG against Burnley.
Yeah.
But they did not. And that first half is just
punty, isn't it, though?
That first half is horrendous. Do you think it was a pen?
The reminding myself what it was.
I thought the one they didn't get was more of a pen than the one they did get.
Why can't I picture the penalty?
First one, that they sort of gave it a dive, but he definitely looked like he clipped him to me. And then the second one, he sort of like Kudus just sort of ran into the back of him and he just sort of fell over.
I can't remember them. I remember the goals and I remember the penalty being scored, but I can't remember actually seeing the penalty being given. I must have missed it.
They weren't that interested.
Anyway.
They weren't that interested, but it was a big VAR check on the first one, and then the second one he gives it.
Okay.
Is what it is. Down the middle.
Yeah.
No Areola save. Another non-clean sheet for Areola.
Just get Leno, mate. Just get Leno.
He played all right, Areola. Like, it was a good save.
He still get 4 points. He gets 4 points.
Yeah.
6 saves?
Get something.
6 saves.
No, 3 points, I think. 3 points.
4 saves.
4 saves. Not enough.
No.
Not enough if you don't get it clean. Sounded like Bowen should be back next week, but we shall see.
Yeah. Good finish from Souček, though.
Yeah, really good.
Really good, tidy finish from Souček. Nothing else to say on those. I mean, for those that are holding Bowen, as you've said, I mean, I would just continue to hold and continue to wait.
Yeah.
David Moyes is not too bad, actually, at information. He's not terrible. So
he's not. Yeah, he's not terrible. But there's enough good people. The old ex-West Ham employee. Normally, we get some stuff out of it.
Yeah.
Good old FPL fella likes to tell us what he can tell.
Yeah.
So we do get a bit. But yeah, I like that Collier show. I thought it was lively. Good player.
Still Burnley.
Never buying him. It's Burnley. Move on.
Final game. Fun game. Interesting game.
Pedro just loves pens. Like, I do like players that just get their own penalty all the time because they just love them that much. And he loves them that much. Like, they're always looking. He's always looking at. He had that game in Europe, didn't he? We got 2 pens that he won both himself. Turns up, takes them. He's just so good at them. Gives White Halls.
Surely he has to start now, though. Surely
Pedro he got nothing left. Got nothing left. Everyone's injured.
Everyone's dead. Everyone's gone.
Everyone's injured. Dunk's banned.
Oh, that was incredible. So they reported that as like a second yellow. Like everywhere, it's reported as second yellow, but was it?
I don't think so.
I think it's a straight. I think it's a straight red. I reckon Dunk's obviously said something, and then obviously
he pulled out the red, didn't he? He didn't
pull out a second yellow. He just
pulled
out a straight red. He must have just told him to fuck off, and the ref was just like, "Nah, not having that. You're gone." It was quite funny because obviously he turns around and goes to almost half shake the ref's hand when he realizes he said something he probably shouldn't have done.
Yeah,
because that's definitely what's happened. So stupid though.
So stupid. But yeah, match of penalties. Other than that, it's pretty low quality, this game. Well, I watched it.
Yeah, I suppose actually, yeah, you do take away that. Yeah, actually, because those penalties are quite nicely placed. Actually, being next to each other, you can just kind of just drop everything down and go, okay, fair enough.
But just a game of nothingness.
But they were hanging on. They were obviously hanging on at the end, Brighton.
I own a Dingra. I know quite a few people own a Dingra out there and stuff. And I think like every week we're like, oh well,
it's okay because he's cheap, so it doesn't really matter.
It's okay because he's cheap. And then when Matoma's out, it was like, well, now he's the big man. He wasn't, because Matoma creates so much space that everyone goes to his side that he's then available down that side. When Matoma's not there, it's just this. They haven't got enough pace to get forward outside of it. So therefore, he was just like that lone man out there.
Yeah.
Did nothing. Yeah, they ground it out. They were an avoid. They were straight avoid, Brian.
Still, yeah. I think that's pretty much it, mate.
That's it. Let's move it on. We've got Thursday pod, Saturday deadline.
Well, let's just have a look at the calendar, mate. That's what we got it for. Thursday pod, Saturday deadline. So yeah, we'll be back Thursday. Yeah, and see what happens. I've made one move already. So I've made one move already.
That. So there's no early game. That's good news, though, isn't it? No early game on Saturday next week. 3 o'clocks.
Does that mean we're going to get something from Arsenal?
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to get something from Arsenal?
Yeah.
1:30. Oh yeah, of course we will. Yeah, of course we will. Sorry, one. Weird though. I was thinking like no early game, but deadline was still in my head. Was going to still be 11 o'clock there. No, of course not.
So we'll get a leak.
We'll definitely get a leak. Definitely get a leak.
That's cool.
But the other games are just, no one really cares. Well, I'd say no one cares. Obviously, we're all going Boomo or everyone's getting Boomo for Brentford.
Yeah, I mean,
Burnley,
a lot of people are going to move early. We're going to move. We're both moving early, but there is Europe in the midweek.
Yeah,
it's dodgy.
Boomo's at 102.2 on FPL statistics already.
Yeah, I'm doing it now.
Gordon 101.
Should I do it now?
Gordon 101. I just want to see who's going the other way. Like Bowen's going down. Neto's going down. Well, maybe may go down. I just want to have a look at a couple of others. Like Eze's not going anywhere. That's fine. Who are the others that might move? Is there anything that people are holding on to that think they might move? I don't know. Gabriel might go up.
I don't know. We've got room. Done.
Are you done?
DRB to Boomo. Done.
Fair enough. Let us know in the chat. Hello in the chat, by the way. Sorry, I've been ignoring you almost.
Am I wasting Thursday content already?
Nah.
Captaincy's big.
Yeah, captaincy will be big.
I'm not sure it's as straightforward as Fulham at home is Captain Salah, but
yeah,
he's on it for now. You leave it there for now, but I'm not sure it's as straightforward as it looks.
Yeah, Lard, you've said you've given us shit for being a Spurs fan. The same we sealed the title after beating 9-man Liverpool. I clocked that, and now you're calling me. Now you're talking about mug Nazis again. Take a time out, pal.
Yeah.
Just take a time out.
Have a good week. Any questions?
Yeah, well, we've got Patreon questions. Yeah, let's grab those. We will do that. So, are Chelsea defence really worth considering against worse teams, or will it be different? 12 goals in the last 3 games conceded. Is that true?
I don't think we know who it's going to be. So we didn't really talk about this, but might as well go back on it. Thiago Silva, we've said for many, many years, can't play in a 2, has been managing to get by, but got absolutely bullied. And I hadn't really considered it. But how is 39-year-old Thiago Silva going to play 3 in a week? No. So what do they do?
Mate, his legs gave way this weekend. They just gave way.
That's a matter of time before that goes. So that before you know it, Disassi has to come in. Badiashile comes in at left centre back straight away. Him and Colwill, who knows where that is. Cucurella's now banned for the next game. So maybe Colwill goes back to left. Like, we just don't know what the deal is. I know Colwill's at 4.5 now and it looks really tempting, but wait for the fixture change.
Wait for the fixture change and then James. And I think you can still go, James. Because the fixtures will be so much better that I think you can still just go there. Would you go Sanchez? I know I've championed Leno, but
I don't mind it at all.
Like their fixtures for that period are so good for so long that it's almost worth making sure that we consider that. If you want to go that way, you can do it. Next question on Discord. So there's 2 pretty much the same. So there's top 2 players for every position for the December crunch period, or best mids costing 7.5 or less for the other ones. I mean, 7.5 or less. It's it does sound quite straightforward that Boomo is probably going to be the best one up until obviously 18.
And if it turns out that Bowen within a week is fine, then it's still Bowen. Like nobody's close. Like we're talking about proven year after year
200 pointer.
200 pointer, mate. Like he's well underpriced, Bowen. Well underpriced. It's just he's now got himself a little injury and we need to know what it's like.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't do it this week.
No,
What would you do if you had? What would you do if you had Martinelli? Would you go Martinelli to Bumo this week when they've got Wolves and Luton next 2 games?
No, I wouldn't move him on just yet.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? But he's always first man off the pitch.
I still wouldn't move him on just yet. Move him on just yet. He does so well. He does so well with Jesus when he plays. Like the second game is home game. You just feel like Martinelli's one of those that will just step up at home as well. And he does play better when he's with Jesus. It is true.
Yeah, and it was their first game. Like, I know everyone was really excited about all of those players back.
It's the first game they've played. Yeah,
first game.
This is true. I mean, the rest of the 7.5s. I mean, like I would really just, if you can keep on until 16, like Sterling for that. Yeah. Like, listen to these games, right? Everton, like forget home or away. Let's listen to the games. Everton, Sheffield United, Wolves, Palace, Luton, Fulham.
Remember that Burnley.
Then Wolves and Palace.
He's such a bully.
Well, you say Burnley, like Luton as well.
Yeah, was it the Burnley game where he hauled?
And the Luton game where Luton he scored as well.
Luton and Burnley.
Yeah, Luton and Burnley.
Such a big game, but bully.
Yeah, flat track bully.
Proper flat track.
So yeah, like Sterling 7 mil. I mean, he'll be probably 7-2 by the time 16 comes around, maybe even 7-3. So he's one. For sure. And then there's one final question from Philip. He says, "How close is Son versus Bruno in the next month or so?"
I don't think it's even close. I don't think anything's close.
I think it's Son, isn't it?
It's just Son. Like,
yeah. Just position of where he's playing, and Tottenham are going to continue to create chances.
Yeah, just look at Son stats and compare them against Salah stats, and you tell me like, who's add the premium? Yeah, and then just add 2 XG onto in your mind. Just add 2 XG from today that were all offside. Yeah, and the Chelsea one just offside, and those ones just offside. Like
he taps in stuff that he's offside.
It just. Like,
he does have to get better at. He does have to get better at that. I mean, I know it's difficult because you're playing against different people every week, but he's got to be pushing that line, but he's got to be more aware at the same time.
Yeah, just don't knock about on something, mate.
Lard says sorry on the wine. Okay, well, fair enough. Whatever.
Whatever.
We can all blame stuff on the alcohol. I haven't had no Fireball, but as tempting as it might have been. As I said earlier, like, you guys are lucky you got a pod tonight, because I was genuinely, almost to the point where I wasn't even going to speak to Baker. I was going to let him communicate to you that there was no pod, because I'd have just said I'm speaking to you tomorrow and just left him.
It's a cruel mistress, this game, mate. It's a cruel mistress.
So down to 4.3 million, down to 4.4 tomorrow, no doubt, when Hwang Hee-chan hopefully scores and busts Leno's clean sheet. That would be nice.
When it flies up there, mate, we will be there. We will be there.
Well, you will. I won't. I will try. Be there. I will try. I will try. I will try. I mean, I say I will try. Hold on. I just want to put into perspective. Like, people say, "Oh, it's so bunched up." Like, it's not that bunched up anymore, guys. By the way, just to inform you, it's not that bunched up. So I have, how many points do I have to go to get to the top? Let me find out how many points it is first. So I am 84 points. Like, if I said 84 points, what rank do you think I'm behind? You should probably
500k.
Yeah. 500k. I'm 84 points off the top 500k. I'm like a whole game week and a half behind.
3 points a game week.
3 points a game week.
Let's go.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, we'll leave it there. We've said what content we're going to be doing. We've got the golf day. Make sure you register if you fancy that. Lots of content coming up in December. Bad week for both of us. Well done to those who won mugs. Make sure to get in contact with us. Make sure you like the stream. Let us know how you got on this week in the comments. Talk to us on Twitter, X, whatever. Patreon.com/AboveAverageFPL. Come join us on Discord as well. Anything else, mate?
No, mate. Let's move out and come back Thursday.
Sounds good, mate. Speak to you later. Thanks, everyone.